Right now at 10, President Trump backs a Wisconsin Supreme Court candidate 2 weeks before the election.
And a recap of News 8 Now's mayoral debate.
Plus, robotics teams across Wisconsin and Minnesota battle at the La Crosse Center for a chance at nationals.
Watching WKBT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for staying up with us. I'm Ken Kozarowski.
And I'm Emily Brown. We're learning new details about a Northside shooting.
A 19-year-old Jason Moran is accused of shooting a victim in the arm on March 9th. Now, according to the criminal complaint, Moran and several friends met a group of rivals on Logan Street for a, quote, friendly fade and to, quote, run ones. That is slang for conducting one-on-one fights without weapons. Police believe the victim fired a first shot with a gun, and cell phone video allegedly shows Moran fighting with that victim while holding a handgun. Moran remains in jail, though the judge has lowered his bond from $100,000 to $75,000 cash.
One of 3 men accused of battering and imprisoning an elder man was in La Crosse court this morning. 40-year-old Kyle Wedekind is accused of 4 felony counts of kidnapping, physical abuse of an elder, and false imprisonment. The 84-year-old man told investigators that the men battered him and locked him in his basement, demanding money and a PIN for his bank card. Wedekind, who allegedly caused many of the man's physical injuries, pled not guilty and is bound over for trial.
Tonight, La Crosse's mayoral candidates faced off in our station's very own debate.
News 8 Now's Allison Fergott has a recap.
La Crosse is at a crossroads.
We cannot solve today's problems with yesterday's politics.
Candidates Chris Kalo and Shondell Washington Spivey were in agreement. La Crosse needs a change. Both of them are looking to lead the city into its next phase and focused heavily on housing to achieve that.
Seeing what state dollars can come to help us build affordable housing, to help offset some of those costs, but in addition, making sure that when we have housing, that the rent is at an affordable rate.
Support the affordable housing that we have put forward. We have an affordable housing project that is being built that has units specifically for folks exiting homelessness.
We asked the candidates how historic preservation could interfere with redeveloping for current needs.
We need to be able to make some changes. It's time for us to start really thinking about a forward La Crosse. What developments do we need to have in this community to attract and retain individuals and families in this city?
But Kalo says preservation and adaptation can coexist, citing the Lincoln Middle School project.
I see redevelopment of historic properties as good economic development and good common sense.
Both agreed as mayor, it's important to be approachable and visible in the community.
I would make sure that I was accessible and everything we do was transparent. I would be out in the community doing coffees with Kalo.
Our mayor should be accessible to the people. Our mayor should be not on just on the 6th floor, but they need to be out in the community talking to people and addressing the needs of the folks.
Reporting in La Crosse, Allison Fergott, News 8 Now.
The full debate will be available on our News 8 Now YouTube page.
President Donald Trump has endorsed Brad Schimmel in the race for Wisconsin Supreme Court just 2 weeks before the April 1st election. Schimmel, backed by the Republican Party, is also supported by law enforcement groups and the Wisconsin Farm Bureau. Trump called the election, quote, very important on social media, criticizing Schimmel's opponent, Dane County Circuit Judge Susan Crawford, for what he claimed were light sentences for serious offenders. Crawford quickly responded, calling Schimmel a corrupt politician and accusing him of siding with special interests.
A group funded by Elon Musk is giving away $100 to Wisconsin voters to sign a petition opposing, quote, activist judges. This comes again 2 weeks before that Supreme Court election, and the winner of that election will be determining whether the court remains under liberal control or flips to a conservative majority.
The city of La Crosse is getting ready to open its brush and yard waste site on Isle La Plume Monday. There will be a $25 yearly fee for each vehicle that wants to be registered by the city to dump grass clippings, brush, and leaves. You can purchase the registration sticker online and have it mailed to you or buy it at City Hall.
La Crosse County could soon see an improvement in its snowmobile trails. The county board passing a resolution to request a $43,000 grant from the DNR. That grant would help maintain the county's 146 miles of snowmobile trails and reimburse snowmobile clubs for money that they've spent to maintain them.
Well, the weekend's going to start off dry, kind of cold in the morning, but then we're going to have some rain or snow returning back for Sunday, unfortunately. So it is going to start off dry, but as I mentioned, these overnight low temperatures are actually below average. We should be mainly in the mid-20s right now, but some areas may get closer to 10 with a wind chill out there too. So all in all, it's going to be kind of a cold start to your Saturday. Tomorrow's highs are still below average, mid to upper 40s is where we should be. A lot of areas will be struggling to get to 30. Some of the warmer spots may get up to the mid-40s, especially those that don't have snow on the ground. Wind chills in the morning could be single digits in certain areas as that northwest wind will decrease overnight, but still be about 10 to 15 in the morning, so definitely will be cold. But overall, as we get closer to noon, we're going to see plenty of sunshine, only getting up to 31 degrees at La Crosse. Notice the wind chill there in the morning too. Could be single digit wind chills for Eau Claire, getting back up to about 31 too. Plenty of sunshine though, that's will be the positive going on. Overall, big picture, all that precipitation we had this evening, which was very light, is pushed off to the southeast with a cold front. The next system that we're keeping an eye on for Sunday is well off to the coast. It's just starting to enter the west coast, and it'll take a time to get here, but that's the one that we'll track later on to give you an idea when this rain will hit, how much snow we'll get, and what it looks like going forward to next week as we approach now the first day of April here pretty soon.
All right. Thanks, Craig. It has been a year since HSHS closed 2 hospitals in the Chippewa Valley, leaving residents scrambling for care. Sacred Heart and St. Joseph's closures eliminated vital services like labor and delivery, emergency care, and left over 1,400 people without jobs. Local organizations like the Chippewa Valley Health Cooperative and Aspirus Health have since stepped in, announcing plans to open new hospitals in Lake Hallie and Chippewa Falls.
So many people were very sad because the 2 hospitals were near and dear to most of our hearts. They had treated, grandparents. They had been here over 125 years, and it was shock, basically.
Aspirus expects to open in 2026, the health cooperative in 2027.
Tensions rose today on Cass Street as demonstrators gathered to voice their concerns about potential Medicaid and Social Security cuts. One protester spoke out, warning that the cuts would have a significant impact on many individuals who rely on these programs for essential health care services.
Johnson and Derek Van Orden, you need to put some back pressure on the Trump administration and think through the repercussions of what's going to happen. I mean, you destroy Social Security, you're going to have elderly people literally starving. They're not going to be able to buy food, they're going to have to buy medicine.
In Wisconsin, over 1.3 million people are currently enrolled in Medicaid. La Crosse Brewery is helping young professionals in their fight to wipe out polio. Rotary After Hours hosted its 7th annual Pints for Polio fundraiser at Pearl Street Brewery. The club president says it's Rotary's worldwide mission to eradicate the disease, which is still prevalent in Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Pints for Polio has just been a really great way just to spread awareness about polio and the eradication, and it's just a fun night to get together. We give a little overview about polio, and then we try to make it fun with learning more about Rotary, learning more about beer, and just kind of having fun with whoever comes tonight.
The goal tonight was to raise at least $500. You can make an online donation at rotaryafterhours.org.
Folks in Holmen are getting a little taste of Scandinavia. Tonight, Holmen Area Community Center hosted its Holmen Get-Together, highlighting Scandinavian Kusli. Kusli, a Norwegian concept, is about going through the seasons with each other. Each season, the Holmen Get-Together celebrates something new.
Last year we celebrated springtime in Paris. In the summer we did summertime blues, kind of an autumn harvest. It's about bonding.
Attendees also got a taste of Scandinavian foods like meatballs and Norwegian and Swedish pastries.
Local high school students are putting their engineering skills to the test. Around 600 teams are taking part in a robotics competition at the La Crosse Center. Teams had 6 weeks to build their robots to compete in the Reefscape game. It mimics cleaning a coral reef by forcing teams to use their robots to remove obstacles and place other objects in precise areas.
There's teams from La Crosse, there's teams from Westby, West Salem, Holmen, all over the area, Arcadia. The teams do get a little bit fired up, so it's good to see the competition and just the fun the kids have.
The event is free and open to the public. The final day of the competition is tomorrow. And the winning team will advance to the World Championship in Texas.
Well, it's March Madness, but today the fun wasn't just on the court, it was in the community as well. Citizens State Bank hosted a March Madness event at the La Crosse Cafe. Attendees enjoyed coffee, brats, and even had a chance to shoot some hoops. The bank CEO says the event is a fun way to show their customers appreciation.
We take this opportunity to have fun with our customers, show we appreciate them, have them in, have some brats, burgers, have some camaraderie, shoot some basketball, just having a fun day.
The March Madness tournament wraps up April 7th with the championship game at the Alamo Dome.
Travel disrupted after a massive fire near a major airport.
We'll have the latest on this developing story right after this.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Or get 0.9% APR on 2025 Sierra 1500 models. Or get over $5,300 total value on select Sierra 1500 models.
The Board Store, 1989. The Board Store, 2025. We've made our own improvements to better serve homeowners while improving the homes and lives of thousands of homeowners in the past 35 years. Now is your opportunity for you to get started on this year's project at the lowest prices of the year. See it all in our showroom, visit online, or call. 27th Annual Early Bird Home Show, only at the Board Store. Higher quality at lower prices. Don't miss it.
Voters deserve to know what our records are.
Susan Crawford's record? Disturbing and dangerous. A 7-year-old girl sexually assaulted. The attacker faced 100 years. Crawford let him off with only 4.
I don't regret that sentence.
A 5-year-old violated. The predator should have rotted in prison. He got out in just 2 years. She protected them, not us.
I don't regret that sentence. I am proud of the work that I've done.
Susan Crawford, putting criminals over your kids.
Flights have slowly restarted at Heathrow Airport in London after a fire at an electrical substation.
About 200,000 passengers were stranded around the world, and the fallout is likely to last through the weekend. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports.
That's a biggie.
A bus passenger riding past an electrical substation 2 miles from London's Heathrow Airport correctly characterized the size of the fire there that started Thursday night. Big enough to shut down Europe's busiest hub.
The fire involved a transformer comprising of 25,000 litres of cooling oil fully alight. This created a major hazard due to the still live high voltage equipment and the nature of the oil-fueled fire.
This is totally random. A Heathrow passenger captured the empty halls of the airport without power and shut down most of Friday.
Heathrow Airport is closed.
Flights started landing again just before sunset, but the ripple effect extends to airports in the U.S., including at Newark Liberty in New Jersey, where the British Airways counters were unstaffed, leaving stranded passengers with no answers.
We just were told almost nothing. I was here in this airport until 2 a.m. this morning.
Some passengers on their way to London were turned back around, including a Boston flight.
We went 3 hours over and 3 hours back, so the flight was the same amount of time. I just didn't end up where I wanted to be.
Heathrow is one of the busiest airports in the world, servicing almost 84 million passengers last year. The issue caused the cancellations of hundreds of flights. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
We will have more news ahead.
But first,
dry conditions for Saturday, but by the time you go for Sunday morning, it's definitely going to look a little bit rainy. We'll track out how much rain we'll get, when it may turn to snow, what those winds also look like for Sunday, and when we might actually hit 60 once again. That all coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on this Silverado. Or get $4,350 total value. Plus, current Chevy owners can get $4,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
It's the Early Buy Outdoor Sale at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota. Patio dining sets, sofas, and love seats, even loungers, they're all on sale. Take advantage of the biggest discounts of the year on outdoor special orders guaranteed. It's the perfect time to get what you want the way you want it. Plus, we'll give you free delivery on your outdoor furniture. Want it right away? We've got all our favorites in stock at pre-season prices. Big discounts and free delivery on outdoor furniture at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota.
Wisconsin, one of those places where families spend their winters among frozen lakes and snow-covered hills. With all the fun they're having, it's easy to take for granted how they warm up by the fire or simply adjusting their thermostat. But for some of us, it's not that easy. Some of us need to decide whether to heat or to eat, or to further neglect our basic survival needs. We are working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans, all struggling to pay record heating bills. These dangerous temperatures aren't just uncomfortable for us, they can be deadly. If you are struggling to decide if you can put food on the table or heat your home, please reach out for a hand up. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
There's been a lot of talk about this Supreme Court race, but here's what's really at stake. Brad Schimmel wants to make sure women don't have the right to make their own health care decisions. If he wins, that right is gone. I'm Susan Crawford, a former prosecutor, a common sense judge, and a mom. And I trust women to make their own health care decisions. Brad Schimmel doesn't, but I always will. And that's why I'm asking for your vote.
Proper installation of your new windows make a difference. The team at Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions are factory trained to make sure your windows are installed to last. Call or stop into the showroom for your free estimate.
Well, unfortunately, it won't feel that real warm tomorrow. We should be in the mid to upper 40s. In fact, next week our average temperature finally reaches 50 as we get closer to the end of the month, but we're not going to be anywhere close for most areas tomorrow. Probably mid 40s, low 40s, and some of the colder spots, upper 30s, especially if it's snow still on the ground. The good news is light winds and plenty of sunshine to start off, so definitely enjoy that because come Sunday, even Saturday night, it gets a little wet. So right now what we're looking for Sunday through Sunday night is if you're south of I-90, it's mostly going to be a light rain event or a rain event. Not too much in the way of actually snow on the backside of the system as it comes across, and wind. Wind will be the other story. If you're between I-90 and 94, it's light rain Sunday or rain Sunday, some mix in the afternoon or night. Not a lot of accumulation there. Windy still in the afternoon too. And if you're further north of I-94 toward Rusk County and points further to the northeast, that's where you actually could get better accumulation. Probably will turn to snow at some point late Saturday morning, Sunday morning, or in the afternoon. Be all snow and wrapping up here Sunday night. That's where you could see some accumulation too. Now roads, really just going to be wet. It's the wet conditions Sunday night for most areas, unless you're north of I-94. That's where it could get slick or some slushy spots. And then going through the Monday morning commute, depending on where these snow showers hit and the timing, you could be a quick slick spot or slush. But overall, most of the impacts will be northeast of our area with the system. Nothing like we saw with the last system because the low is going to track right overhead. There's a snow amounts with the system and everything's really to the northeast. Now we might still see a little bit of wraparound, so some areas could get a trace to a half-inch Sunday night through Monday, early Monday morning. But for the most part, everything has pushed off to the east with this, so that's the good news for it. Now, if you look at precipitation, we might actually see a little bit of a shower around midnight tomorrow night because the warm front comes through. This would be very light, maybe an hour at the most of some precipitation. Here's the first area that comes through probably around 5 to about 8 a.m. Line of showers, light rain, all rain at this point because we will warm up into the 40s for most locations. In the afternoon, we might see a break. The next front comes through. That would be in the afternoon. That'll turn the winds around. Here comes another line of showers developing probably in the late afternoon. Can't rule out thunder with this going on. Then once this passes, it's kind of just the wraparound moisture that wraps around the low throughout Sunday night and Monday. Not a lot of precipitation with it, but still you can see some snow showers going on through about late Sunday night to early Monday. But once we get through Monday morning, everything is cleared out, and basically we're just dealing with some wind too. Wind will be the other story with this too, probably the bigger factor than anything else. Waking up Sunday morning, you'll have that south wind ahead of the front. Some gusts could approach 35 to 40, but notice this change in the wind direction behind that front. You'll definitely see that about noon, and then it will come out of the west and get quite strong in the afternoon, especially over northeast Iowa. Gusts could be over 40. This will continue through Sunday night. So that'll be the bigger story going over Sunday night and Monday, is that wind will produce some pretty strong gusts going on. Overall, if we look at the 8-day forecast, then once we get past that, it's going to be a cold Monday. And then we're going to start seeing temperatures begin to slowly warm back up throughout the week. And eventually we might actually get close to upper 60s by Friday with another system that'll be approaching. So if you like the warmer conditions, that looks to be more promising next week. It won't feel that warm tomorrow, especially in the morning.
All right.
But it will be sunny.
The sun will be out.
That's good.
We'll take it.
Yes.
Thanks, Greg. Coming up next in sports, the madness continues. Postseason basketball at the college and high school level. Plus, Wisconsin women's hockey looking to punch a ticket to the national championship game. Cade is next.
You earn trust by making a commitment and sticking to it and serving this community all day, every day. We work hard for this trust and love telling your local stories because we, like you, expect more.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources now. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org.
Here at Carl's, you'll find the top name brand appliances.
During our Slam Dunk Savings Event, save up to $2,000 instantly on major appliances. Plus, get up to $3,000 in vendor rebates. Purchase an LG 4-piece kitchen package and get this LG 55-inch TV free.
The hot buys are right here, right now at Carl's.
Save on Serta mattresses.
All TVs are on sale.
The spring grill shipments have arrived.
Carl's, your servicing dealer since 1956.
As a teacher, I think it's important that students here in Wisconsin become proficient and ideally strong in math.
We need to keep teachers like you here. That's what motivated UW-Madison's Wisconsin Teacher Pledge program.
By covering the cost of tuition, the Teacher Pledge enables us to teach in areas and subjects where we're needed the most.
We're working to fill these gaps, and those who benefit are the youth of Wisconsin.
When we stay in Wisconsin to teach, that's a win for everyone.
One Wisconsin, on Wisconsin.
Out-of-state special interests are trying to buy a Supreme Court seat for Susan Crawford. Why? Because Crawford supports their radical agenda, and I'm not okay with any of it. Let transitioning male teachers use my girls' bathrooms at school, allow boys to compete against them in sports, giving puberty-blocking drugs to children without parents' consent. That's who Susan Crawford sides with, and I'm not okay with any of it.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community. Here's News 8 Now Sports with Cade Overton.
Day 2 of the WIAA Boys State Basketball Tournament. Yesterday we saw the Blue Golds advance to the championship round, and now we've got the Cochran-Fountain City Pirates making just their second appearance at state. It was an early morning for them. A 9 a.m. tip. Our own Jacob Lensendorf was there, and he has the report.
Well, Cade, the saying goes, the early bird gets the worm. No worms up for grabs this morning, but there was a spot in the Division 5 state championship game on the line. Cochran-Fountain City looking for their first ever win at the state tournament. Pirates taking on Turtle Lake, coached by Angela Wagner, who's believed to be the first woman to coach a boys team at state. Good start for CFC in this one. Ball swung out to Reed Schmidt-Connect, and he connects to get the top-seeded Pirates on the board. The story of the first half, though, was this guy right here, Cameron Lipinski. Too much space at the top of the key for the senior, and he drills it. Then Cochran Fountain City turns the Lakers over, and look out below. Lipinski skies for a big-time jam. He had 18 of his team's 36 points at halftime. Then in half number 2, CFC getting some production out of Porter Erat. His attempt from downtown is money, and the Pirates will play for a gold ball as they get the win 66-54 over Turtle Lake.
It means a lot. As a senior, I mean, got to give it our all in the one last ride. So, I mean, hopefully we can get it done, make some school history, but we're here to play, we're here to win.
You know, these guys listen really well. They're always paying attention. They're always learning. They're always asking questions. And when I can put what I know from the past to how good of ball players these guys are, it makes things very successful.
So 2 area teams could be crowned champions tomorrow, and they're both kicking off the fun as Cochran Fountain City will begin the day at 11:05 against Sheboygan Lutheran, and then following that one is Aquinas taking on Bonduel in the Division IV state championship. In Madison, Jacob Lensdorf, News 8 Now Sports.
Over in Minneapolis, the Caledonia Warriors were trying to punch their ticket into the state championship up against unbeaten Albany, and the Huskies had it going early. Deep 3 here, nothing but net. They would take a 20-point lead early in the first half, but the Warriors would claw their way back, led by Mason King. 6 3-pointers in the game for him, as the Warriors would eventually tie the game at 50. But late in the game, Grant King coming downhill, can't get the shot to fall as Albany hangs on to win 59-54. Madness in the men's NCAA tournament as the Marquette Golden Eagles have been eliminated by the New Mexico Lobos. Marquette slow out of the gates, trailed for much of the game, eventually tied it at 58, but from there New Mexico was full steam ahead as they take down Marquette 75-66. Second round starts tomorrow, and the Wisconsin Badgers will look to make it to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2017. Wisconsin will be up against a solid BYU team. No easy wins at this point in the tourney. This one's set to start at 6:45 tomorrow right here on News 8. Women's Frozen Four semifinals, Wisconsin up against Minnesota. Now, Minnesota would take an early lead, but the Badgers strike back. Layla Edwards with a rocket into the net. We're tied at 1. One more look off the bar and in. And then in the second period, the pass out to Caroline Harvey. Nice stick work there, puts it past the keeper. Wisconsin would roll 6-2 the final. They'll take on Ohio State in the national championship on Sunday. A quick spring training update. Brewers currently trailing the Diamondbacks 16-9. Late in that one, Freddie Peralta struggled, giving up 10 earned runs, and he'll have to figure it out as he's set to start this season when Milwaukee takes on the Yankees next Thursday. I know we're busy into the basketball season. It's kind of crazy that baseball's right around the corner now.
I can't think about it.
What, just about a week and a half?
Yeah.
We've got high school softball games starting next week already. I mean, there's no break.
Just
we're
exhausted thinking about
basketball
it.
right into baseball, softball.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Cade lives for it.
We got a busy day tomorrow, too, all around, right?
I know, the second round of the Madness. I'm so
Yep.
pumped for it. I mean, I don't want to brag. I went 29 out of 32 in my picks, so I know. Hats off to me. But
You might win this round.
Emily, how'd you do? Any updates?
No, I didn't look. What about you?
Haven't bothered to look. I think I was like 14 of 16 today.
Hey,
though.
well,
That was
that's
pretty good.
there we go.
That's not bad.
Hey, round 2 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Badgers.
Yeah.
How we feeling?
A little nervous. BYU can shoot the lights out, and they've been playing red hot.
They have been, but I believe in Tonje. He'll get going. Blackwell. I think the Badgers. I think they'll get it done.
Let's hope so.
Yep.
On
All right.
Wisconsin.
Sounds good. All right, more news right after this.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Love it.
Go from dreaming it to driving it today.
Right now, lease a new 2024 Tacoma TRD Sport for $359 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
If your home is looking drab, trade it in.
Trade it in.
The furniture's old and yucky, trade it in.
Trade it in.
If you're seeking a solution, then King's your resolution. If you're tired of your look, then trade it in.
Trade it in.
At King's Trade In Sale, trade in your old recliner for $50 towards a new one. Trade in your old sofa for $100. Trade in your old mattress for $75. Plus get free delivery and 12 months no interest payments at the King Furniture Trade In Sale.
Shut up. Okay, hold on. I don't think it's gonna pivot anymore.
Just like pivoting from heating to cooling season, it's a difficult adjustment. Pivot in the summer, called GNT.
Pivot! Shut up.
Called GNT. For the best heating and air conditioning, guaranteed.
A 5-year-old girl violated. The predator faced up to 60 years behind bars. Radical Susan Crawford sided with him, released on a $500 bond, and lived across from a school. His sentence, just 4 years in prison. Now he's free, all because Susan Crawford and her warped, soft-on-crime agenda. Catch and release Crawford. Don't take the risk. Fair Courts America is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Hey! There he is. Let's do this. Right now, you can get 1.99% APR for 72 months on a tough new Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
The dog days of summer may be a few months off, but workers at the Cedar Rapids, Iowa Water Administration got a sneak peek.
Meet Shandy. She spent Thursday with the Law Dog for a Day program. That's where police officers bring an adoptable dog from the shelter to a city building. Sergeant Chris Collins, who is her handler, says the stress of a shelter can cause dogs to bark or withdraw.
So this way, dogs like Shandy get to show their true personality and increase the likelihood of adoption. All 6 of the program's previous dogs have been adopted. Shandy, though, has been available since October. So fingers crossed that someone sees that video and goes, I have to have Shandy.
Why would you not want to have Shandy? She looks adorable in her little shirt. And I'm glad that that program's being effective. It sounds like it's been a success so far. Shandy's going to be fine.
It sounds genius because, yeah, some people might be turned off by a dog feeling squeamish or looking, you know, a little tense in a kennel. Get them out in the environment and see how lovable they actually are.
This allows them to be in their true nature.
Their true authentic self.
Exactly.
Let's get it going nationwide. Way to go, Cedar Rapids. I love it.
All right. Greg has a final look at your forecast right after this.
Meeting you locally where you are online. Miss a story? See it again or watch us live on YouTube at WKBT News 8 Now.
You wouldn't buy the first vehicle you saw.
Trust me, it's perfectly safe.
I'll take it. So don't hire the first personal injury lawyer you call.
Trust me.
Where do I sign? Object to anything less than the best. Call BGR.
It's tournament time at Osseo Automotive and the savings are giant. And so is the selection.
Get giant discounts on in-stock trucks and SUVs, like over $8,000 off a 2024 Silverado 2500 HD High Country, or $11,000 off a 2024 Silverado Crew, or over $3,500 off a 2025 Equinox LT.
You'll never see anything this big again. Giant tournament sales going on now at Osseo Ford, Nels Gunderson Chevrolet, Fountain City Ford, and Rudy's in Whitehall.
Right now, you're busy taking care of the people you love. Let Window World take care of the place you live. Window World, America's exterior remodeler. Improving homes, changing lives.
Verizon and AT&T announced price hikes a total of 10 times in the past 2 years. Doesn't that blow your mind? Families can switch to T-Mobile and get all the benefits of their plans while saving 20%. T-Mobile blows the competition away.
T-Mobile will also give you up to $800 when you switch.
Mind blown. Is that a jet engine?
Go to T-Mobile.com to see how families can save 20% and get $800.
That's lunch.
Growing up in Chippewa Falls, we had some tough times. My little sister was born with special needs, so I became her protector. And when my dad was laid off, we all had to step up. Along the way, I learned a lot about hard work, common sense, and most of all, what it means to look out for people. I'm Susan Crawford, and looking out for people is why I became a prosecutor and a judge. And it's what I'll do every day on the Supreme Court.
Hiring the wrong personal injury attorney can cost you a lot. Researching personal injury attorneys costs you nothing. We're confident that your research will lead you to buy Goff and Rohde. BGR, object to anything less than the best.
Okay, let's see. Headlines from News 8 Now? Check. Live updates all day? Check. Local breaking news? Yep. Weather every 10 minutes? Yes, please. Well, that was an easy choice. News 8 Plus. It puts the now in your day. Get it today.
All right, cold start for tomorrow. Wind chills actually could be in the teens, single digits, but we'll have plenty of sunshine on Saturday, minus the temperatures only getting up to the 40s, maybe upper 30s where we have it. But then the rain moves in Sunday. Could be a little bit of snow going Sunday night into Monday, especially further north you go. Cold start to the week, but we do slowly warm back up to potentially 70 by the end of the week.
All right. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend, everyone.